Hey everyone, how are you? It is Wednesday, August 7th of 2013, and my name is Melissa. I have done some YouTube in the past, and I've been getting a lot of people emailing me or connecting through Facebook, wondering what has happened to me. It's been a while since I have posted anything. So I thought today would be a good day to do that. And I plan on keeping up with it a little more here and doing some other things as well. So you may be seeing me elsewhere as far as doing some chats about migraines and doing some Ustream and just getting out there a little bit more to raise awareness about this so crippling disease that I and millions of others suffer from. In case this is the first time you are seeing one of my YouTube videos, you obviously can go back and look at the other ones if you so wish to, but just to give you a quick backstory on me and why I do these videos is, first off, I'm a chronic migraine sufferer. I have been for quite some time. I began getting migraines when I was around 12 years old, possibly earlier, but that's when I first remember actually getting debilitating headaches and missing school. As the years progressed, so did my migraines. They became much more frequent and much more debilitating in severity. They sort of ruined my life and also gave me a life that I have now and a purpose that I have now. But in my 20s, I was getting about 15 or so migraines per month, which does consider them to be chronic. Didn't know they could get any worse than that, but in my 30s, throughout those 10 years in my 30s, I was getting them pretty much every day. And didn't quite know what to do. I saw many neurologists and tried loads of medications and different things to, try to help with this. In my early 40s, I guess I was about 41, I think it was 2009, I had sort of a crippling year, so to say. I was working full time, but in April of 2009, I had a death in the family of my grandmother, my Gigi, and that was like losing the most important person to me. We were very close, and she really gave to me love and things as a child and as an adult. She was very upfront and very truthful with me on a lot of things. I think she was the first person that had slapped my face as a child when I accidentally swore in front of her. She had a quick backhand. But anyway, I lost her, so that was huge. I had a really hard time mourning for her and getting through that. That same year, in June, my oldest daughter graduated from high school. So that was a big ordeal. In August, both of my girls were in a very severe car accident where I could have lost them. They were in a small Honda Civic and were hit by a 18-wheeler without the cab on the back. It was just the truck itself, but sort of went up and anyway, it was pretty tragic to this day. And I still say that with my grand passing away, that she was their angel looking over top of them. But again, that has nothing to do with migraines. In 2010, in January, I had left a job that I really loved to go and do something else that I had applied for, and it was a great boost, or it was a great step for me in the right direction. Unfortunately, I no longer remember that, but I'll get to that in a second. So, I continued to work and run a family, and I was married, and, just had a full life, minus the, having those constant migraines, constantly losing weekends at a time, days at a time. In September of 2010, my body had had enough, and I collapsed in my home, thank God. And luckily I wasn't driving, or I wasn't at work or anything like that. My then 10-year-old youngest daughter found me, and I would not come to for her, and she thought I was dead. And it's really hard for me to think back to that time, because for one, I don't remember that day at all, due to migraines, due to that attack. And I lost a year prior to that, so that job that I had started, I no longer remember any of those people that I work with, which is heart-wrenching to me, because I know that they were wonderful people due to what they did after my attack. So I lost memories of everything, of dance recitals, of just, I have no clue. I was filled in sort of throughout the time, by my husband and my mom and friends and family. So on September 16th, I had that attack. Obviously was rushed to the hospital. Everyone, including the doctors, thought I had had a stroke because of the symptoms that I was portraying. I had right side paralysis, mouth droop, an eye droop. My speech was very slurred and confusing. My mind was not working correctly. Had a hard time coming up with sentences, and through the next couple weeks it actually got worse, which was really scary. I wanted to make this quick, so let me tell you, for 2 years I was bedridden. Went to see a few different neurologists, finally ended up at a headache center, a neurologist that only deals with headaches, and that was actually at the Jefferson in Philadelphia. And my doctor, who is a wonderful doctor, his name is Dr. William Young, just worked with me and helped me, but actually through those 2 years, nothing was capturing it. I went into the hospital numerous times for inpatient IVs. I did I had to do occupational speech, and physical therapy, to learn to talk without slurring, and learn to walk again, and learn how to function. My right hand was crimped up like a crab claw all the time, so I had to sort of learn to use my left to feed myself. And anyway, very long and extremely painful couple years there. Tore apart my family, my friends. I didn't want anyone to come into my home because, for one, I wasn't taking care of my home. Two, I didn't want them to see me the way I was. It was not me any longer. It was like this shell of me. So, nothing worked. We did the biofeedback, we did Botox, acupuncture, hundreds of medications, and I know there's not that many out there for migraines, but when I look in my, when I had to fill everything out to go to Jefferson Headache Center, I had to fill out forms, and I have page after page after page after page. I think there's 6 pages of medications and treatments, and combinations of those considered cocktails. So with all that stuff, there are hundreds of medications off the box that you can take, or be prescribed. I don't know if I mentioned Botox. I did everything that I could possibly think of to do to help with this tremendous pain, which brought me to finding some social media. I used social media to reach out. Actually, my husband did. I was really incapable of doing it at first. My eyes were really affected by this attack, and I had a hard time seeing, and being on the computer and stuff really, riding in the car, being on the computer. I didn't drive for 2 years from my attack, or actually more than that. Anyway, he introduced me to the social media. I found some friends that were going through the same thing I did on Facebook, and through Facebook, I actually learned of another treatment. I learned of a couple treatments out there, but one was like nerve decompression, another one was neurostimulation for migraines. After doing my research, what I thought was best for me to do was try this neurostimulation. So then I started doing, my husband and I started doing research on doctors and places to have this done. There are a number of places out there, a number of doctors that are doing this procedure, some different than others. I think all doctors sort of tweak it a little bit, and anyway, I chose to go with a doctor that I felt comfortable with. I flew to Texas, which was only my second time flying in my life. Through this disease, you become very full of anxiety and very depressed. I sunk into a very, very big depression because I could no longer be that mom. I couldn't even do simple addition. The cognitive part was just not there. So for me to fly was a huge, huge step. I flew down by myself with a friend I actually met from Facebook at the time, but not with family or anything. I met with a doctor, fell in love with him, really felt comfortable, and chose that I was going to try this. There's a trial that goes along with neurostimulation, so I actually ended up staying there in Texas, in Houston, Texas, for a trial, and it was successful, and I really put it to the test. Met some wonderful people there with a company called Advanced Migraine Relief, and couldn't have asked for a better team to be on my side. I really felt that they cared about me and what I was going through and what I had lost, and with talking with my family, we decided to go through with having the permanent procedure done. So on September 21st of 2012, I had my neurostimulator implanted, sorry. And, I say this, and, some people may not believe me, but I know that having that neurostimulator put in saved my life, because it gave me hope, and it gave me so much, because I was able to be that person, at least on my way to being that person that I once was, and one that I hadn't been for so many years, because of the pain. That pain takes so much away from you.